So these three men have been selected to give the response on behalf of their classmates here. So hopefully all the answers are met with approval by the rest of your crew, and I'm sure they will be. Larry Fitzgerald, University of Pittsburgh. Let's start with you. You heard those stats. Less than 1% of all of us who ever played this great game of football end up here and going into the Hall of Fame. If you could think about not just yourself, but your classmates, what would you think this honor would mean to all of you?
No, it's a tremendous honor. There's nothing greater than to be able to do something you truly love with your brothers, and to be recognized, in the highest way. All these men have done unbelievable things in their playing career in their communities, and paved the way for the next generation of players coming behind them who are astute academically, athletically, and this is the vibrance that we create, as athletes, and it's a wonderful thing to be a part of.
You follow in the tradition and you pay it forward, don't you?
That's the key. That's the key.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Dan Hampton, University of Arkansas. It says here that you had not been back to Arkansas and seen them play in person since your last game. Is that true?
That is correct. And, over the course of my career, I
know you were busy doing a few other things.
Well, but it was fantastic to actually get back to Fayetteville. But, the one thing, and your question to Larry is it kind of strikes to the core of what makes college football so great. During all the highlights of all the players, I was watching your faces, and everybody was raptly looking at these highlights. Now, of course, mine were black and white a long time ago, but everybody loves the game, and we are so fortunate. And your question about the teammates, Larry wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here, Coach wouldn't be here if it wasn't about the actual team. And, at the end of the day, we were so fortunate. And you say 1%, we're the lucky 1% because we were given an opportunity to go out and play this fantastic game. And, hey, people love it. It's great.
Dan, I'm going to follow up with you there because your first visit back was for your on-campus salute, which is one of the great things I think the NFF does, where you get to go back on campus, where it all happened for you, and people were there and remembering. What was your on-campus salute? What did that mean to you? What was it like being back there in Fayetteville?
Well, there's a lot of good, and I saw a lot of my former teammates. I saw a lot of the great Razorback fans, go Hogs, and everybody. But unfortunately, we didn't have such good luck with LSU that night. They gave us a headache. But, at the end of the day, that's where it all started. It's ground zero. A lot of us go on to have other careers, pro football or whatever. But that's where it all started, where we were 18, 19-year-old kids, and this is where we decided on what we would make our future. And it was great to go back. A long time later, 40-something years, but it was great to be back.
And I bet those 40 years just melted away when you were back on campus. Larry, when you were back there, I understand they had bobbleheads and the whole thing going. Did you get a cut of the action?
No, I did not get a cut, and I don't need it. What the University of Pittsburgh has done for me in my life, I could never repay. The loyalty, the love, the camaraderie, teammates that are here supporting me, flew all the way out here from Pittsburgh to be here, and I just the Pittsburgh contingency, the way they treated me, it's they took me in when I was really struggling, going through a difficult time in my life, and I know everybody on this stage can attest for an experience like that at the university that they were attending, and to be able to be recognized in front of your home team and get a big win, it was an unbelievable moment, one I'll never forget.
Yeah, and you and I shared a coach, Walt Harris. I played for Coach Harris at Tennessee.
Yeah.
You played for him in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Coach Dantonio, you got a couple of salutes, didn't you? I mean, you get a couple of those on campus. You had Cincinnati, you had Michigan State.
At Michigan State, big thing was that probably about 200-plus players come back. And, it takes so many different people to make a program. You got to have guys that play, obviously, but your administration has to believe in you, and then also, your fellow coaches, your staff, so many different people. So it takes special people.
It certainly does, and I just want to follow up on that very quickly because Dan and Larry have both talked about the teammates, the camaraderie, all those things. You get the same thing with coaching, but it's a little bit different because as a player, We want to come back and show our coach that we went off and we were successful. We absorbed those lessons. We bring our families back, our friends back. We want to do all those things. How rewarding is it when those players come back and see you, Coach?
Well, it's special, because you share so much. You share sorrow, but you also share a lot of successes and things of that nature, and you see them go on and become, men and have families of their own. And so there's a lot of growth that, when you're 18 years old and you become 22, there's a lot of growth there. So, again, I've talked to them about dreaming big, and so many of them have been able to do that.
Coach, I'm going to finish it all up with you here. You don't go into coaching to end up here this night. That's not the number one thing that's on your mind when you go into coaching. For you, Coach Hale, Coach Solich, going into coaching almost feels like a calling in a sense. Can you try and sum up to us what it means to go into coaching and take that responsibility to mold youngsters like us into people that can be productive and have those kind of lives, as well as win a couple football games along the way?
Well, I know we're up here because we win a lot of games and things of that nature, but the wins and losses will not define you. It'll be the people that played for you and how they handle adversity and go through their lives and become men and have families and the things that they do after. And, I think that's what, inevitably, that's, coaching will take you in that area, and it's where it took me a little bit, and so we've had great success. But, again, I just keep always saying that, when you look at awards like this, these are program awards, team awards, and get a chance to complete your circle a little bit and dream big. I've always said special time, special place, special people.
No doubt, and all the people up here are special. And as we conclude, I just want you to know that Dan Hampton is up here and is a College Football Hall of Famer, but the vote was a little close for a while there because at one point in his career, he broke the nose of the National Football Foundation chairman in a game, Archie Manning. So we were withholding a little vote for him for a while, but eventually Mr. Manning relented and said, okay, he can go in. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Mark Dantonio, Dan Hampton, Larry Fitzgerald.